What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Macho Movie Madness.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Brandon. Alongside me always is Kenny and Andrew, and today we've got a very good episode. This is Why We Love The Terminator. Opening says it all. We are talking The Terminator today. Very first Terminator, 1984, directed by James Cameron, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know, some other people. No, Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn, and a boatload of other people that would become pretty well common in most Cameron movies, I think, or at least a few of them.
Yeah, Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, so this is your guys' baby.
Oh yeah,
and I am a very big Terminator fan. Obviously, we've talked about it a lot on this channel and all over the place. I am a big proponent of Terminator 2. That is my favorite. But this one here is also very, very good. But to you two, this is number one.
Yeah, and
maybe even number one movie of all time. Pretty well to both of you.
For me, yeah, and I believe it's Kenny's right. What, 1A, 1B?
Yeah.
Big Trouble Little China, Terminator. Terminator, Big Trouble Little China.
I think it fluctuates.
Yeah. Kenny watches this movie no less than 3,000 times a week. And yes, that's possible. That's very possible.
Also, I'd have to add the minutes up.
Yeah, carry the two.
The time I'm at work.
Yeah. And when he's not watching, he's talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me and Brandon, like when we open the door for each other at work, a lot of times we're like, Sarah Connor.
Yeah. Or the not, we do that.
Yeah.
At the door. Yeah, we make it a habit because we're just dorks like that. Like I said, 1984. This had a budget, if I can find the damn thing.
$6 million.
$6 million budget. He's already on top of it. Look at him. Look at him go.
Made 36.
Okay, well
6.4.
Well, this says 6.4 and made 78.
Oh, that must be worldwide.
Domestic. Yeah. So worldwide made 78. Not too damn shabby. Is this Arnold's second movie after Conan?
Well, he had like the bodybuilding movies.
Other than the bodybuilding movies.
Yeah, he was in a few other little things like that. But yeah, he was known as Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Coming into this.
Would you say Conan was more of a breakout role or this?
This was another level.
This is another whole nother
Conan
level.
was kind of breakout, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say.
This was a breakout role for him to really put him over the top.
Right.
So
I feel like this is should shape up to be the best Why We Love episode, just because we've got two of the biggest Terminator fans of all time here. Well, don't all fight at one time, but let's go over the plot of this thing, even though everybody knows what the fucking plot is. Hit me with the plot.
So you've got this cyborg sent from the year 2027 in this movie. I believe it's 2029 in the sequel.
Yeah.
And he's sent back to present day 1984 to kill the mother of the leader of the resistance of the future.
Yeah. And,
along the way, some other things happened. The resistance is able to send back a lone warrior to help her, which in a surprising twist turns out to be somebody in the leader's life. And it's just a great story, man. That's basically it in a nutshell. There's a lot of other things that I'm glossing over, but it's just an iconic movie.
It's the greatest story ever told.
The greatest story ever told, as Kenny says.
Yeah.
And I can't argue with that, especially when you pair this up with Terminator 2. Yeah. I think the two of them together are one of the best 1-2 punches in history cinema.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other movies and their sequels that carry quite the load.
Yeah.
I know people would say like Godfather 1 and 2 or whatever, and that's fine and dandy, but just it's not the same.
It's not
the same. There's nothing on the level of Terminator and Terminator 2 especially. There's nothing on that level that I can think of that would even come close to that.
Yeah. And people like to say this is a sci-fi horror movie, which it very much is. I've called it myself on some reviews, a cyberpunk Halloween. This is how I like to describe it when you really look at the elements. And that Terminator 2 is actually a sci-fi action, but I think people overlook the action in this movie. especially for the time in 1984. People hadn't seen anything like that police shootout.
No.
The chases in this movie, dare I say, are better than the chases in Terminator 2. When you've got Arnold chasing after them, through the tunnel in LA on that bike with the bombs going off. And, they're going through all those parking garages. You've seen those parking garages and everything after you've watched the Terminator.
Well, just them racing through the streets, the night streets, at just fast pace with him trying to explain who he is and what's going on in a little bit at a time, in that exposition a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. The end, obviously the end chase scene leading up to the tanker being destroyed, very well done. Yeah, you're right. I don't know if you can compare it to 2 on the same level, but you're right. I think you can't dismiss the action for sure. There's more action than people would give it credit for.
Yeah.
That's where it gets creepy. After the tanker blows. Yeah. That's when it gets creepy, when he comes back.
Yeah. That whole scene's set up just perfectly.
Oh, man.
And the funny thing is, James Cameron had to fight for that too, because studio heads wanted to end it at that tanker explosion. And he's like, no, F you, and going on and on about, and thank God he did.
Good call.
Yeah, because it's amazing.
Oh, dude, him rising out of the ashes, just the T-800.
And just, you can see the relief that they had, because they thought it was over.
Yeah.
And they sunk.
Yeah.
When he rose up out of it. I mean, it was just...
No! Yeah.
And you cut that out, and... the Terminator was basically born out of a fever dream he had when he was filming Piranha 2. And he had that fiery image of the Terminator coming up, out of the ashes. And if they cut that out, that negates, his original vision.
I'm going to tell you something right now that pisses me off, because I can't remember most of my dreams. And I want a fever dream of some shit that I can create a movie like this.
Right.
It just pisses me off, man.
Yeah, that's James Cameron for you.
Or he's on peyote.
He's one of the top-notch guys, man.
Okay. I mean, whatever. I guess. But
he's made some bangers.
He was up until after True Lies.
Yeah.
We won't say the movie that, You talking about
Titanic?
Shh.
Jack. I won't let go, Jack.
That movie doesn't even need, it doesn't even deserve to be on this.
Yeah.
I won't let go.
To me, I think the love story, you want to talk Titanic, which is basically a love story on a doomed boat. I think the love story in this is better than the love story in Titanic. A guy traveling across time because he fell in love with a picture of a girl.
That's why I feel like this is the greatest story ever told.
Absolutely.
That love story within the
confines of
going on. Man, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I want to know the original timeline, though. Like, John knew that Kyle Reese was his dad, and then, when and where does this happen?
If you're going by this timeline, he has to know, because she's talking on those tapes at the end of the thing. Do I tell you that he was your father? And you go crazy thinking about this. I think he did know.
Oh, you'd have to know.
Yeah.
I think he had to have known to send him back.
But he couldn't let him know that.
Right. He would still be born. Or he didn't know, so he sent him back, and then that's what altered time. And John Connor was just spawned from a different man. Conceived by a different man.
I liked him. I don't believe that.
I will tell you what he was spawned from. A pair of soiled hobo pants.
Oh, for sure.
That son of a bitch stole my pants.
Hey, bud, did you just see a real bright line?
I just have to say one thing right now, that Kyle Reese was wearing stinky ass clothes. He stank.
But them shoes, the drip
on
them shoes.
Yeah. Nike Vandals.
You can't find them for cheap.
No.
Yeah.
I googled them. What we was talking about this about
$4,000 or something. They were several $1,000s.
Gosh, dude, and I want a pair so bad.
Yeah,
crazy.
And in this movie, that this is Arnold Schwarzenegger's breakout role, as we said. Kyle Reese, to me, he's the driving force behind this movie.
Oh yeah,
and to me, he's the best character in this entire franchise.
Yeah, his dialogue is amazing.
Yeah.
Michael Bean's awesome, man.
The scene in the police station when he's explaining.
Yeah.
And they're just not getting it. And then
don't you
finally
understand? That
is my favorite part of that movie. I love that scene.
Michael Bean was killer in this movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Breakout role for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he'd done The Fan before this with Robert De Niro. And that's really the only thing he'd done up to that point.
Any pros or cons for acting?
No cons.
No cons.
No cons.
I thought it was well done.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that I'm just like, oh, cringe.
I love the Lance Henriksen and
Paul Winfield, Traxler Vukovic.
Those two together, polar opposites.
Yes.
And just awesome. Lance Henriksen always talking too much.
Yeah. How do I look?
Yeah.
Like shit, boss. Yo, mama.
Yeah. Ed Traxler. Yo, mama.
I love them. Not only them, but like talking secondary characters, the roommate Ginger and Matt, they are phenomenal.
I love Matt.
Yeah.
And I always like to choose to believe that Matt didn't die. Because it never really showed him stop breathing.
Right.
Obviously, it's confirmed that he did die.
Yeah. But, later on in the police station.
Matt wasn't scared.
No. Don't make me bust you up, man.
Yeah. Don't make me bust you up.
That scene makes me laugh every time.
He got wrecked.
Yes.
I mean, he got wrecked with his wearing them banana hammock where he had on.
He was the Iceman's partner, so you knew he was just inherently a bad guy anyway.
Yeah.
Like when Sarah answers the phone, he's like, first I'm going to rip the buttons off the blouse one by one.
That's for you. Without missing a beat, she answers the phone. I want to rip the buttons.
But Ginger, with the old headphones.
Yeah, always dancing, singing.
Bow, 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 bow.
Which is funny because technology's the killer in this movie, and technology got her killed.
Yes.
She didn't hear everything that was going on with Matt. There's some great symbolism like
there
that
is,
in
for
this
sure.
movie. We're going to talk about the Technor scene, I'm sure. We might as well get into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
The symbolism in there. There's a scene where Arnold turns around right before he sees Sarah Connor. He's starting to zero in on her. And there's these two transistors with a laser going across. And it's perfectly framed in the shot, kind of like Frankenstein. Right there. And there's so much imagery that until that was pointed out to me, I'd never noticed it before.
Right.
And there's probably other things in there that I've never noticed. And I've seen this movie so many times. I kind of wanted to go into that. I actually saw this at 5 years old in the theater with my parents because I guess there was no one to watch me that night, so that I just went along.
Just went with it.
Yeah, and so that's kind of started my love of sci-fi. I've seen this in the theater twice since then. Once as a double feature with T2. And me and Kenny, we're both kind of bummed out. This is the 40th anniversary. That's kind of why we're doing this video tonight.
We pretty much are, yeah.
They were actually showing this at Alamo Drafthouse on a Tuesday. Which we couldn't go to.
Who does that?
Yeah, terrible. 40 years later. That's crazy. It was October, what did I say, 26th?
26th. This will be coming out the day before the actual release date of the movie.
Cool.
40 years.
Yeah. Well, you did mention also the cameos by the Punks.
Yes.
Brian Thompson and Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Yes.
And whoever the other guy was who looked like Kramer from Seinfeld.
Well, his name was Brad Reardon, apparently.
Brad Reardon.
But Brian Thompson was the killer in Cobra.
Yes.
Pig. And he was also Buffalo Bob and Joe Dirt. He was also the main vampire, not the main vampire, but he's like the main bad guy of the first two episodes of Buffy.
Yeah.
Vampire stuff.
He was in Lionheart. He was the heavy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's been in a lot of shit.
It turned out to be jack shit.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude waxed him up.
Oh, yeah. He's actually in the 911 show that my wife watches. He's like the fire chief.
Oh, really?
Now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I just caught an episode of that with her the other day, and I'm like, I'm going to watch this because he's in it.
I'm glad he's still got things going for him.
Score, soundtrack.
Brad Fidel. Oh, my gosh.
This theme, super iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, the beats, the breakdowns, the beats, everything in this movie, awesome, amazing. And it fits so well within the story and the setting, the atmosphere. It's pretty much it's unlike anything else in cinema history, I think.
Yeah.
Aside from, some of your Carpenter films, it's just some of the best I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah.
Dare I ask, is there anything that you would change, any cons, anything about entirely in this movie?
No.
No, nothing at all.
I know a lot of people have cons with the rubber head.
Oh yeah,
in the flop house.
Sure,
but it's of its time. You know,
84. What can you do?
It's going to look like that. And I know when I watched it once at the Palace in Springfield, a guy laughed at the stop motion Terminator there at the end, and I'm just like, dude, shut up. I like it because it looks otherworldly. It's something about that shot doesn't look right, and to me that makes it look creepier. But yeah, I like that stop motion, and I can't fault it for that.
And I get it. I don't like stop motion in a lot of ways, but I think it fits well in certain ways. Like you said, it's creepy. But what do you do? It's the time. Yeah, RoboCop had a lot of it, and it's out of play. It seems weird in RoboCop, especially with like Ed 209 and all that shit. It's weird, but at the same time, it still works for me. I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much anymore. I get it. I get where the guy's coming from to a point, but I mean, what do you do? It's still creepy.
As far as effects, I like the future war scenes in this movie a lot. I like the one in Terminator 2 a lot.
Both movies are very close to one another.
Yeah.
And I love the future setting, the lighting, everything. I love all that. Way better than anything in the rest of the series that showed in the future. I
like the way that Cameron, too, he did the fades into the future scenes a lot of time. Like when he's watching those machines in that vacant lot with the treads, and all of a sudden you see skulls, and you know he's dreaming.
Yeah.
Just some great dissolves.
Right. Him coming out. Yeah, absolutely. What was it? When was he dreaming about being in the tunnel with the dogs? Was that later on in the tunnel?
Yeah, that was later on in the movie where they were under the tunnel.
Yeah.
That's a great scene and a great part of the score right there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Favorite scene in the movie?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mentioned the police station scene where he's
massacring everybody.
Well, when he loses it on the interrogation, and he goes into detail about how he'll never stop.
Yeah.
I love that scene. And then, of course, right after that, we get the epic, slaughter fest.
Yeah.
At the police station.
Yeah.
You'll be perfectly safe. Awesome. There's 30 cops in this building.
False. False.
What would you say is better, the Technor scene or the police station scene? I know they're different, but
see, to me, they're both great. I'm always going to choose the Technor scene. Just personally.
Right.
Yeah.
Set up how meticulous everything was.
Yeah. How everything, if you've ever been in a car wreck, everything slows down. And just before all hell breaks loose, everything, you hear the heartbeat, boom, 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 boom. And it's all about to break loose. And I love that.
I do too. I love how everything's slowed down, slow motion as he approaches her and draws the gun on her, and the laser comes up as she looks up and realizes, and then boom, back to normal speed. Gets shot by Kyle Reese. Love that. I love that.
Yeah. I was struggling to figure out my favorite scene until you said Technor, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, duh.
Yeah. Yeah.
This movie has so many great scenes. You guys touched on a bunch of them. The chase through the tunnel.
Yeah.
With the pipe bombs.
Yeah. The scene in the factory at the end.
Yeah, it's really good.
It was really good.
Him rising up there.
And, you mentioned stop motion and stuff. And the puppet head or whatever, the rubber head. Terminator 2, to be fair, had a couple scenes that still
insert shots,
and you can see when he was approaching the SWAT team, and he's getting blasted and hailed with bullets. That was
he was plastic.
Plastic. It was a plastic model. It looked okay, but you could tell.
Yeah.
And then and I think it might have only been in the deleted scene, but I think they did it again in the deleted scene when they were fixing him. In that gas station garage or whatever.
Oh, where he was trying to teach him how he could learn, take this chip out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was that just a special edition?
Yes. Yeah.
So that was only in the deleted scene, but then I think they had the other rubber head in that too, I want to say. Or rubber something there. It was definitely, you could tell.
Yeah.
So anyway, Terminator 2's got those twos for as great as that is, And if you look really closely, you can see the tin foil or whatever the shit that was on top of the T-1000 for the bullet splatter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, technology is always going to fail you.
Yeah, for sure. The practical effects will always.
Yeah.
You always see something, but you can't. It's hard to knock something like that.
Yeah.
For a time.
Yeah. The humor in this movie is something we haven't really touched on, other than like the cops. I love where he's in the flop house and the guy's like, "Hey, buddy, you got a dead cat in there or what?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 things that, even if they're not supposed to be funny, you just find it funny. Hey, you can't do that in here.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah. Dick Miller.
Dick Miller. He played the neighbor in Gremlins.
Yeah. Oh, Dick Miller's in everything.
Yeah, he
everything.
was in Gremlins too.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
I may probably.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Didn't
Gremlins.
him and his wife come to New York?
It's a Joe Dante movie. Joe Dante puts him in every movie
Every-
that he
yeah.
does. He's in The Howling, kind of the same kind of character. But yeah, just the humor in this thing.
You're dead, honey.
Yeah, you're dead, honey. After that scene where he's, "Hey, buddy, you got a dead cat in there or what?" He picks up that gun, he's walking down the hallway, and there's a black guy that meets him. He's like, "God damn." That scene makes me laugh every time I watch this movie, just his reaction.
Well, was that the one he used in the police?
Yes.
Was it? It was like an AR-18 or it's something.
AR-18 or 19
Had a
or
big
something.
banana clip on.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't find them. You can't get
No.
them anymore. There's they don't make them.
Yeah, one time I was looking into getting one of those guns because I love this movie so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can't find them.
No,
anywhere.
they're not gonna. Yeah, that's the damn shame is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you
America.
did, you'll definitely pay a premium price for it. Let's see. Anything else we want to talk about before we?
I like the grit that this movie has and how it's all basically shot at night.
Mhm.
And it does have kind of that horror movie feel to it because of that.
Yeah.
It probably would have cost him a lot less to film during the day, but he stuck to his guns and did a lot of night shoots.
Yeah.
And I just love that about this movie. T2 feels like a big production, and I think that's why I always kind of go for the little underdog Terminator, the original, because it feels gritty.
It does.
Like a down and dirty, almost exploitation type film.
Yeah, it does.
And it kind of does have that horror feel to it as when he's stalking her.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
Okay, so if there's nothing else, I guess we can go to rating. Can you give it an objective rating, or is it just straight 5 out of 5?
Oh yeah, objectively, it's a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Objective?
Mm-hmm.
5 out of 5?
Oh yeah. There's not a damn thing wrong with it. It's a perfect movie. If there's people out there that don't like this, get away from me.
Yeah. Please
Get out.
Get the hell away from me. Yeah.
No, get the hell away from me.
This is an incredible film.
Yeah. I would be inclined to agree with you. It's hard for me to rate any movie as perfect 5 out of 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I could give it a 4.5, 4 or 4 3/4. I don't know if I could give it a 5. I don't know if I could give anything a 5.
To me,
I'd be afraid to give it a 5.
And T2, both 5 out of 5.
That's what I was going to say. There's not a damn thing wrong with the
Greatest
second one.
story ever told.
Yeah,
It's just a continuation of the greatest story ever told.
Yeah, I mean, well, Andrews mentioned pacing issues in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Because they get to the desert and it slows down a little bit, but it's not too long because once they get to Dyson's house, it picks right back up. So it's not very long. It's a long movie anyway. The pacing's probably a little better than T1.
Oh, pacing never lets up in this movie.
It's pretty well
If
perfect.
it does, it's a smidge.
Yeah. So I think where T2's got worse pacing compared to the out of the two, it obviously beats Terminator 1 and other things. I think just maybe out of default I can't give both 5 out of 5, but I would give it a 4 3/4.
Yeah.
Just because it's practically perfect.
Right.
We know you won't go there, and that's fine.
I mean, you guys. This is your movie, so you guys go right ahead and do what you want to do. But I'm gonna give it a 4 3/4.
So you're
I can give it a 4.9 out of 5.
So you're the guy that ran the red light coming around third and then changed his mind and went back to third
Yeah.
instead of scoring.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
No, because I knew that I wouldn't help my team by getting out at home plate.
That's true.
So I'm just what I'm doing is this is a very strategic move on my part. The thing is I have to stay true. If I can't give Halloween a 5 out of 5, because it's not perfect either. There's little hiccups. It's a $300,000 movie, but I can't give that movie, which I love, a higher score. I can't do this for this movie. I can't do it for anything. Just can't. You're right. I think you guys make good points. It's very close to perfect, but nothing's perfect except for me.
That's fine.
I'm a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
This movie's 4.9 out of 5.
All right.
If you say so, buddy. I guess if you say so, pal.
Get out.
Get out. There's that. You guys, anything else to say?
I could sit here and talk about this movie all day long, but we got to cut it short at some
I'm
point.
going to go home and watch it when I get home.
Oh, I'd have no doubt.
Honestly, this is a Friday night. We're filming this on. There's football going on and all kinds of other stuff. I'd probably, if I wasn't here doing this with you guys, probably have a pizza and a beer and be watching The Terminator.
Yeah. I don't have to tell anybody to go watch it because, I mean, everybody's already seen it. But if you haven't, you're a jabroni. And I suggest you do it right now. Younger people out there that is probably not going to watch this video, just in case you happen upon it, check it out. Definitely one of the best movies of all time. You cannot get through your life without seeing this at least one time. Because if you don't, then you're not a person. You're not even real. You're not living. You're not living until you've seen this movie. And 2.
You're not lit.
Yeah.
Whatever the kids are saying. Yeah, whatever y'all say. Yeah, you're not with it.
You're one of those 600 series with rubber skin. We spotted you easily.
Yeah. That's a reference they won't get unless they see the movie.
Right.
On the next Why We Love, we've agreed to talk about The Thing, correctly?
Ooh, yeah.
Correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, will be the next time out on Why We Love. And until then,
we're out of here.